creepy.
Yeah, that's the general sentiment. Okay, well, if you're ready, we can go ahead and get started. This is just going to be a small little thing because the story isn't really too intricate right now, and I'm just going to basically walk through what the others did Saturday night.
Okay.
Okay. So, for the sake of the recording, please introduce your character, describe what they look like, and tell us what they're doing and where they're at.
My name is Zero, and I am a 6'1" male, red eyes, medium sized build. I have black hair and I have black skin. I'm about 20. I'm 20 years old and I weigh about 145 pounds. Currently, I would say I'm wandering in a village. I'm wandering in a village at the moment.
Okay, yeah, that works. So you're wandering around in this village. Not much out of the ordinary is happening. People going about their day, not really paying attention to anybody else except for themselves. Then you start to hear something that sounds like a train. It's metal on metal. There's the engine just chugging along. And eventually, within about like a minute or so, you see that in the center of the road that you're passing through is a silver train with a blue line down the side. And no one seems to be paying attention to this train. In fact, you look a little bit closer and they seem to be walking through the train. But eventually, the door opens and a cowboy steps out.
Hmm. I walk closer to get a better look. I want to introduce myself to this cowboy. Ask him
Okay.
about the train.
Okay, yeah. You go ahead and ask him about the train. He says, "Well, wait, you can see the train?"
Yeah, I can see the train.
Oh, okay, that's good, because guess that means you're Zero.
Yeah, my name's Zero. What's your name?
Okay. Hunter.
Hunter. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Now, I'm here on, let's call it, official business. I gotta bring you to this specific city. That's all I gotta do. But some people upstairs want you to go to the specific place.
You mind me asking where exactly am I headed?
You ever heard of the city of Aspen?
No, let's say it's my first time hearing it.
Uh, well, it's pretty far past the fog wall.
Hmm. Seems interesting. Who am I meeting?
Well, you got a list of orders to do. If you do them or not, I don't really care.
All right.
Yeah. Two others have already made the journey. You just gotta join them.
I accept. I'll join them.
Okay. Just step on the train when you're ready.
All right then. Let's do this. And I proceed to step on the train.
Okay. You climb onto the train, and you see that the interior of the train is relatively fancy. There's wooden seats, there's soft velvet cushions, but through the windows of the doors at the front and back of the cart, you can't see anything through them. Hunter follows up behind you. He asks you very simply, just go ahead and sit down. And he eventually starts getting the train up to speed. And you see, weirdly enough, that when Hunter pilots the train via magic, um, he doesn't go around buildings or trees or ponds or anything like that. Instead, the buildings move for the train. All he has to do is drive in a straight line. And
I
eventually, hmm,
no, just continue. Continue.
Okay. Eventually, you get to about an hour away from where you just were. He says, I suggest you hold on to something.
As I prepare to hold on to the seats, I look towards him. I ask him why.
He points to your left and says, well, that there is the fog wall. And as you might know, it's pretty difficult to get through the fog wall. So, we have to kind of force our way through. And as he says that, you feel as the train takes what can only be described as a almost perfect 90-degree angle. And then it stops. And slowly starts speeding up again. First to 5 miles per hour, then to 50, then to 500. And then before you could even comprehend what's happening, you feel the train car shuttle around and shake. And you hear a massive booming sound as the train breaks the sound barrier and goes through the fog wall. Now, you don't see a lot while you're in the fog wall. There's a couple demons scratching at the car. There's whatever creatures from other dimensions just looking at you. But it's only about 10 seconds that you're in this extra dimensional plane until you pop back out on the other side of the fog wall.
As I gaze out the window, I'm kind of in shock.
Yeah,
It
you
feels,
gaze out
yeah, this holy.
you you
Oh,
gaze out the window and Hunter realizes that you're gazing out the window. He goes ahead, he comes over to you, and he says, you see that there? Kind of looks like a wolf, but tan in color. Well, that there is what we call a beast. The magic in this area is so heavily mutated that it also just mutates whatever comes in contact with it. So, while that thing might look like a wolf, it's the same size as a wolf, same build as a wolf. If you notice, in the front of its mouth, it has two buck teeth. Because where you just come from, that would be a normal ass squirrel.
as I hear him describe about this area and how like impure and magic it is, and like how all these beasts and creatures, I get interested because I want to research. I want to know the source of the power that comes for this force. I want to know what's going on.
Okay, yeah. He sees your excitement and says, if you want to hunt the beasts, or experiment them, or whatever you want to do with that twisted wizard brain, you can go ahead and do it. He gives you a pouch and a piece of paper. He says inside the pouch is 500 gold and a key. The piece of paper will tell you what you need to do once we get to Aspen. And then you two just continue on your journey. It's not too long. He can more or less just not flee, free, like, pilot the train until he gets to Aspen. And he pulls in at the train station, and you two eventually just stop. The doors open. He says, well, have fun. Hopefully we see you again sometime.
As I look back at him and I say, "Me too." And I step off the train and I look around in awe, just a new environment, new people, and I take a deep breath in of that fresh new air, and I huff out and I look up and I'm ready.
Yeah. You look around and you do this, and you see that this city is so different because of the magic. There are buildings that reach high up into the clouds. And almost every building does, as if they're able to stand on nothingness. There are magic carriages being drawn by no horses. They fly through the air as if they're just flying, as if nothing is making it fall back down to the ground. There are people of all races and species and backgrounds around you. And you see the city of Aspen. You also look up and you see that there is a massive crystal at the very top, in the very center. And out from this crystal is a magic bubble, a force field, that goes all around the city of Aspen.
As I'm looking at these sites and I'm looking at all of them within absolute amazement, I think to myself, huh, now that I'm here, I really do need something to eat and somewhere to sleep. So I would like to walk around and ask questions to the neighboring people. Where can I find a pub? Get some more information.
Oh, you're looking for a pub?
Yeah.
Uh, go that way about like 3 minutes, and then there should be one on your left. And the person you're talking to points over in just what seems to you a random direction.
And as I look down at this person, I'm like scratching my head, like, haha, thanks. And I proceed to walk within the direction they pointed.
Okay, yeah. And their directions are more or less correct. You walk for about 3, 4 minutes, and then to the right, you hear the chatter of a pub, and you can smell the alcohol brewing within it.
I turn, I grin with a smile, and I walk into the pub.
Yeah, you walk in, you see more or less a traditional pub. Turns out pubs haven't really changed that much. Wood floor, wood ceiling, columns holding everything up. There are booths and chairs and tables all over the place. And in the corner is the bar and bartender, with not a lot of people sitting around, but enough where that the bartender would have at least some business.
I look around, take a look to my right, they take a look to my left. I spot the bartender. I walk up to them and I ask them, "Hey, do you know where I could find anywhere I could lay my head? Any lodgings?"
Lodgings. Uh, there's a couple hotels in the city, but I don't know about that. They're a bit on the sketchy side.
I look at him and I say, "Okay." And I proceed to sit down and I order a drink, whatever drink that he recommends.
Like, yeah. So he very simply, after not wanting to work here, just gives you the most basic drink, just a normal beer.
I sit there and I drink. I look around some more and I want to find someone and ask them some questions.
Okay. Yeah. Any specific person you want to find?
Um, no, not really.
Okay. Yeah. So you just go up to a random person. What do you ask?
I asked them, so what are the wonders of Aspen?
Well, you could go to, well, we call it the pit. It's more like a generator for the city, you could say. Um, the park is nice. Oh, the tower. The tower has a great view.
I
I
interrupt
mean,
them and I say,
okay.
wait a minute, huh?
Yeah, you know, the
Uh,
pit.
huh? Never heard of it.
Oh, you should check it out sometime. It's more
I
or less in
will.
the center of the city.
Is there any ways to make a quick buck anywhere?
You could always go join the guild.
Great idea. So I finish my drink. I walk out the bar And then as I walk out the bar, I realize I have no clue where the goat is. So instead of walking back into the bar and asking questions, I keep walking and walking.
Okay. Yeah. So you just randomly walk in a direction, and you don't come across the guild, but you do find something that does look like the pit, or at least what you think the pit would look like. There's just this massive hole in the ground that goes down so far you cannot see the bottom. There's a railing around the side to ensure that people don't fall down. And on your side of the railing, there are arcane symbols in the ground that are all lit blue.
Hmm. I look at the arcane symbols. I go to them. I get down on one knee and I take a closer look and I touch them.
Okay, yeah. So you go ahead and touch them, and you can tell that they're at the same time making sure that something is on and making sure that something stays contained.
Now I'm curious what's being contained. So I mess around a little more, try to find more information about what's being contained through the carvings on the ground.
Okay, yeah. Uh, do an Arcana check.
Arcana check.
Yeah.
Is that a spell?
No, it's one of the skills. So you roll a d20, get
Okay.
what you get, and then you add for you it's +6.
Okay. So if I remember correctly, this D&D page should do it for me if I press this. What is it? D20 roll and
Oh, yep,
7.
7,
Yep.
and then 7 +6, so 13.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to change up how Arcana works a little bit. I feel like this will most benefit you. Because Arcana, in my mind, is more like mana and
Hmm.
just flowing through the air whenever and always, you can hyper focus on either feeling, hearing, or seeing what the mana around you um is doing.
Okay. So I choose to hear. I want to hear what the mana says to me.
Okay. Yeah. So you hyper focus all or most of the magic inside your body to your ears. And you hear that away from the pit, there isn't really much going on. It's just your average um magic radiance in the air, just like normal magic levels. But inside the pit, you hear a roaring fire, like a bonfire, just thousands of times bigger. But it doesn't really seem to be affecting anyone or leaving the pit at all.
Hmm. Fire. As I hear these, as I hear all these voices telling me all this information, and what intrigues me is the mention of fire, my favorite source of power. And I want to investigate. Is there is there any way for me to get down into the pit to do more research?
You look around, you see that there's no ladders, no doors, no anything inside the pit. You look around near the railing and just in general, and you see that there is no like secret hatch you could go down. And since you can't see the bottom, you reason out that you can't just fall down there.
I cross my hands and I take a look at the pit. I think. I tell myself, you know what? I'll be back. Right now, I need to find a source of money. So I turn my back and I walk away from the pit.
Okay, yeah.
Um, I would like to walk around for a bit, try to find a stranger so I could ask them where the guild is.
Okay, yeah. So you walk around for a bit more. You see that um a person in what looks like to be adventuring gear is walking past you. So you stop them, you ask them where the guild is. They once again to you point in a random direction and tell you to head that way until you see a giant wooden building.
I look at them and I say, "Thank you very much," and I go towards the direction they're pointing and walk.
Okay, yeah. Oh, eventually it does take a couple minutes, but eventually you get to what they described. It's a giant wooden building, uh, stairs leading up with columns supporting the roof, and a warm light coming through the windows.
I finally raise my hands up in relief, like, "Ah, I found it!" And I walk into the guild building, opening both
Okay.
doors.
Yeah, you walk in, and you see that it is kind of like the inside of a bank. There's tellers at windows, there's people forming lines, there's different assistants going around to people. The floor is marble, there are more columns inside supporting the roof as well. And you are very quickly picked out by one of the assistants that comes up to you. And they introduce themselves by asking, "Are you a member of the guild or would you like to become one?"
I say, "I would like to become a guild member."
Okay. And he tells you to wait for a second, goes off, does something in the back rooms. He then, after about a couple of minutes, comes out, requests you to follow him. And you do. And he leads you through the back rooms of this massive building, twisting and turning through the different hallways, and eventually leads you to a open door and motions for you to go inside.
I walk into the door. I walk in, like, I walk in.
Okay, yeah. It is a smaller room, big enough where that maybe like 5 people could comfortably fit into this room. Inside, there is a desk, 2 chairs, and a person sitting on the opposite side of the desk to you. She is wearing a suit. She has 4 wings, 2 out the back of her neck, and 2 out the back of her lower back, closer to her spine. And she has long blonde hair up in a high ponytail. She says, "Oh, I heard you want to become a member of the guild."
I say, "Yeah, please. How can I?"
Oh, yeah, I just gotta ask you a couple of questions, and then um, you'll be all set.
I proceed to sit down and I ask her what the questions.
Okay. So she starts off with, so mainly what we do in the guild is we go outside the city and we hunt beast. We do this for sustaining the ecosystem, more or less. If there's too many bears, then we gotta kill the bears. If there's too many squirrels, then we gotta kill some squirrels. So first thing we gotta check is, do you have a way to fight, like a weapon, or are you a magic user, or what's up?
I'm a mage, and this book here is my how I conjure spells.
Okay, okay. So that's one. Uh, number two, do you know anyone else in the city?
No, I'm new here.
Oh, okay, okay. Number three, can you cook?
Or less, I'll say.
Okay, okay. Number four, you said you're a mage. So let's see. Mm, oh, okay. She takes out a piece of paper and asks you to read the paper.
I take
Paper
the
to
page.
you. Yeah, you take the page, but to you, at least with just your bare normal eyes, the page is completely blank.
I look at the page and I look back up and I say, I don't see anything.
Oh, yeah. There's a simple enchantment. All you gotta do is push through the enchantment and read what's on the paper and just repeat it back to me.
Where's the enchantment?
Um, you can just do a Arcana check.
Oh,
And
okay.
then there's a
So
yeah.
I do have a I have a cantrip. So Arcana check. So I gotta roll for that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And I roll a d20, rolling 14.
Okay. Yeah, you got a dirty 20. Okay.
Yup.
So
So
you go ahead, you take this piece of paper, and once she says that, you more or less can just simply tune your eyes to the frequency of the magic. And you very simply just see that it says, read this out loud. That's it.
uh the says did I just read out a random spell?
Nope, just read out what it says on the paper. So on the paper it says, read this out loud.
Read this out loud.
She looks at you and says, okay, yeah, sweet.
Ah. Huh.
So,
Oh.
so she, she looks at you and says, do you have a crystal?
I respond no. No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Uh, I see you have a pouch there.
Yeah, I do.
Is the pouch inside the crystal? Or is the crystal inside the pouch? Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Let me check.
Yeah. So you open it, you see money, a key to a door that you have no clue what it does yet. And you do indeed see a um white kind of translucent crystal.
I pull the crystal out and I say, "This
Okay.
crystal?
Yeah,
Huh?"
that's the crystal.
Hmm.
So she goes ahead, she puts her hand out, kind of gesturing for you to give the crystal to her. She says, so since technology can't really work in like the fog wall because of all the magic going around, we use these magic crystals to be able to talk to each other. All I gotta do is make you have the right verification and the right levels to be able to go out and hunt monsters. And then also I gotta put my contact in there so that you can call me for authorization.
I say, "All right, let's do this."
Okay. Yeah. She takes your crystal, squeezes it kind of tightly in her hand. You see a blue light emanate from the crystal. She releases her grip and she gestures for you to take the crystal back.
I take the crystal back and I put it into my pouch.
Okay. Yeah. She goes ahead, she looks at you and says, okay, you're now a member of the guild.
As I get up from my chair, I want to ask, "What's my rank?"
Oh, your rank is bronze. There are four ranks. There's bronze, silver, gold, and platinum.
I ask, "How do I get to platinum?"
Very simply, just go out. hunt more beasts or hunt more dangerous beasts that others don't want to?
I say, I got you. And I walk out the room.
Okay, yeah. So you walk out, you follow the same path you took, but in reverse to head back out. And then when you reach the lobby, you remember that Hunter also gave you a piece of paper, and he said that there were orders for you on it.
I remember about the paper and I quickly take it out of my pocket and I read it.
Okay, yeah. So on the paper, it says very simply, go to the guild and become a member. Go to your apartment and check it out. And then go sightseeing.
As I read it, I say, huh, I already did the first part. And then I say in shock, I have an apartment? So I wait, is there any type of address on the paper telling me where my apartment is?
Yes. Right next to the word apartment at the end of the sentence, it tells you the exact address and room number that your apartment is in.
Then as I quickly walk towards the door of the guild and I walk out, I go find my apartment because I am tired.
Okay, yeah. So you go to your apartment and I made a little map. So if you look in the general chat, there's a key to the right and
Okay, I see it.
yeah, more or less that's just what they did last session. That's all I've
Oh,
updated.
I bet.
But you head up to your apartment after a pretty decent walk, and you head into the lobby of the apartment building. And it looks pretty average. There's a couple chairs to your right, an elevator across from you, and to the left of you, there's a moonbucks with a tiefling, with red skin and white hair, acting as a barista.
I look towards the direction and I wave and smile. And I proceed to go find my apartment.
Okay, yeah. She sees you, waves and smiles back at you, and you head up and you take the elevator up to your floor. You eventually stumble around until you find the apartment, but you do find the apartment. You use the key that you got in the pouch from Hunter to open the door, and it works. You're now in your apartment. You take a look around. To your right is the kitchen. It has the most basic furnishings, including a fridge, a stove, oven, and a sink. There is also upstairs with what you can see is just 3 bedrooms. And to your left, against the wall, there is a backpack with a note on it.
I walk up to the backpack. I pick up the note and I read the note.
You read the note, and it says, here's a tent and all the things you might need on your hunts outside the city. Sincerely, your friends from upstairs.
I open the backpack and I look at it and I take the stuff out.
You see that it is just the most basic things. There is a tent, there are some mobile camping cooking ware, including a small pot and a thing to easily start fires. And there are a couple meal ready to eat kits that you can make when you're out and about.
I pack everything back in the bag and I say, all right. Then I proceed unpack my stuff. As I unpack my stuff, I take out a sentimental picture of my mother. And as I'm holding this picture, I have flashbacks of my mother's passing and then my father telling me things, but it's not clear, it's not cohesive. And then my head hurts and I stop.
Okay, yeah, you do exactly that. You go ahead, make yourself at home. Everything you just described just happens. And you decide to take a break from unpacking for now. Um, the other 2 rooms from upstairs seem to already be occupied, as you can see a light being shown from underneath their door, which just leaves you the middle room.
I go into the middle room, wondering, huh? I wonder who else is here. Who else could be on this journey? And then, as I'm looking around the room, see, huh? Not too bad. And I sit down on my bed.
Okay, yeah. So you look around the room. You see that just like the rest of the apartment, it only has the most basic furnishings. There is a bed, and from what you can see, no bed frame. There is an attached bathroom with a shower, a sink, and a place to sit.
I lay down on my bed and I rest.
Okay. Yeah, you go ahead, rest. You eventually fall into a sleep. You're more tired than you thought. And in this sleep, you have a dream. You have a dream about not too much. You have faint, faint, um, images that look like your mother, your father, and yourself. And that is it. You very quickly wake up and you hear noise coming from the kitchen as if the other two people that you expect are awake and they're ready for the day. That's why we're going to end our little mini session.
All right, I like that.